Please welcome to the stage Vice President of the New York Young Republican Club, Vish Burra.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you and welcome to the New York Young Republican Club's 109th Annual Gala. First and foremost, I would like to thank our sponsors, Dan Tuttle, who couldn't be here with us tonight, executive producer of Uncle Tom 2, Josh Eisen, a great benefactor to the club, Dave Lipsky, founder of Voters Safe House, and the larger family of the uncancelable apps, Our Freedom Book. It is critical that magnanimous supporters like them help put on these events for the American people here and everywhere. So let's give them a big hand. Also, let's give a warm welcome to one of my mentors and one of my dear, dear friends, Raheem Kassam. He told me earlier he felt like this was his first cotillion, and now I kind of feel bad for him. So let's give him a hand there. Now, it's been a wild and eventful year since the 108th Forbidden Gala, which, to my knowledge, is still undergoing ongoing investigations by New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy. Now, unfortunately, the apple of his eye, the one he describes as the handsome Congressman Matt Gaetz, he couldn't make it tonight, but plenty of his staff, my colleagues, are here. Joel Valdez, John Wilson, my homegirl Isabella, she's somewhere out there. Thank you for coming. Now, it's fun to dunk on that ugly present governor of New Jersey, but I want to tell you about a former president of this club who was also a past governor of the great state of New York, but also tell you about, hopefully, a future governor of the great state of Texas. Thomas Dewey was a former president of this club, former governor of New York, former presidential candidate, a great icon of political history in the Empire State. There was no doubt about his wherewithal to fight. He took on organized criminals with vigor, earning him the nickname, the Gangbuster. And as a Republican, he exemplified the great history of the party to free the slaves. And less than 100 years later, he helped enact the first in the nation anti-discrimination laws in the workplace, recognizing the dignity of all working class people of all creed and colors. You know, people forget that the Republican Party was founded on abolishing slavery. You hear these clowns on TV like Chris Cuomo, who got fired today from CNN. CNN sucks. You hear these clowns on TV, they say, the party's switched. There was a switch. They're on the other sides now. Nonsense. Lies. Propaganda. The president who freed the slaves, Lincoln, gave a speech to this very club in 1856. And I'm here to tell you, over 100 years later, those Democrats, the Democratic Party, and by the larger extension, the political and global left, have never changed. What they were then is what they are now. Before Lincoln, they wanted to enslave black folk. Today, they want to enslave everybody. In fact, they are apoplectic that they had to work for over 100 years to get back to this point. Back for the first time, that they will institute diversity, equity, and inclusion into their utopian global slave state. Everybody gets to be a battery for the regime. For time immemorial, to the eons that come after us, They will always have the coldest perception of humanity, that humans are mere instruments, that their family, their nation, their God are of no consequence in their pursuit of that global slave state. That all problems can be solved with material solutions, that there is always a way to squeeze the people to continue their parasitic paradigm. In World War II, Americans got to see what utopia actually looked like, as we are honored to show you an exclusive trailer for the attendees of this gala of Uncle Tom 2. Take a look. They will not stop until everything looks like this, and until the people have the scales taken off their eyes. Only then can they see clearly. They want to spread the wealth for everybody. That's their intent. What they end up doing is turning everything into a ghetto. I don't need to prove to you that that's true. In cities run by Democrats, you can see it for yourself. That is the future they want for you. The longhouse of the savages, an existence mired in the filth of the primordial man. A dystopia run by the godless, mocking the Lord's plague by making us feast on the locusts in response to the famine that they create. I am here tonight to stand with all of you and say, we will not live in the pods. We will not eat the bugs. We will not drink the soy. And to show them that we mean business, perhaps the Yanks need to get their groove back and lead the Union to defeat the globalist vocation of enslaving nations. And if you are ever in doubt on how to win, how to defeat this encroaching tyranny through the everyday hustle of facing off against the high-tech struggle sessions of the online mobs that will inevitably lead to the high-tech lynchings, as Clarence Thomas so eloquently described it in his face-off against President Joe Biden. I leave with you a quote that General William Tecumseh Sherman wrote in a letter to James Guthrie, who would later to go on to be senator. War is the remedy our enemies have chosen. Other simple remedies were within their choice. You know it, and they know it, but they wanted war. And I say, let us give them all they want. Not a word of argument, not a sign of let up, no cave in till we are whipped or they are. That's right. As Sherman marched to Savannah, he smashed everything to the sea to win. He had the railroads destroyed using a method named the Sherman necktie. I promise they were tied tighter than Steve Cortez's bow tie tonight. That's right. When Yankee Doodle goes to town, Yankee Doodle goes damn dandy. Stick a feather in that. Today, we need a real gangbuster like Governor Dewey in the fight today, a man who had no problem calling out the Communist Party members among him during his time served as a congressman from Florida. He is quoted as saying during an infamous military court procedure, "If it's about the lives of my soldiers at stake, I'd go through hell with a gasoline can." We need men like this, ready to fight against the Democrats, against their campaigns to enslave us all again. And with that, I am proud to introduce the recipient of the Thomas Dewey Award, former Congressman, former Texas GOP Chair, future Governor of Texas, my fellow co-star and Uncle Tom, the violently based Alan West.
I guess I'm done. What a pleasure, Nard. Thank you so much. And, you know, I'm glad that I had you at my house for barbecue, because I think that's part of the reason why I got such a decent introduction. But to Gavin and to each and every one of you, first and foremost, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, and thank you so much for having me.